Yeah.
So I said on the last episode that in 1977, Rush put out Cinderella Man. It was on the charts. And I'm like, oh, Rush is never on the charts. And I said, that is Rush's highest charting single. And I knew I was wrong, because I'm wrong a lot. And we'll get to Arrows and Omissions probably sometime in this.
It was the 77, what's her other... The
Well,
one
I
I
said
brought up.
there were two other ones. I said Tom Sawyer and Limelight also charted, but those are from like 1981, I think is when they came out.
Which song were you talking about now?
Their top charting song is from Signals, which is the record that came out after Moving Pictures, the one that everybody knows Rush for. It's New World Man, and that I'm not cool with that. If Rush has 100 songs, and they probably have more than that, that's about number 22.
But we were talking about the song that charted in 77.
Closer to the Heart.
Yeah. And I don't think you mentioned that song at all during
Well, I didn't, because I was like...
Oh, okay. I was confused.
I thought that there was some more obscure song that was a higher chart maker than that. They were more of an album-oriented rock band, but...
Album. It's weak to say.
Yeah, you got to get that looked at, man. All right. All right, well, you introduce this one because you think you know, or you have the inside track on when this will be released. So what we released, 44 came out today, and you want to have a continuation of the 1977 thing.
Year of music.
So that'll be, I love when you do that. I do. I can't stop loving it. So that'll be 45. So this is probably going to be episode 46, do you think?
Yes.
Good.
Unless it tanks.
Introduce it, because I know you hate it when I make you do stuff you're not comfortable doing, but I'm not comfortable anymore either.
Hi. Welcome to the Ascertainers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Mark, and this is my partner in crime, Jim. Say hi, Jim.
Hi. I was going to see if you started getting squirmy. Yeah, so...
What does squirmy
like
sound or look like?
You know it when you know it. When you see it, you see it. You know.
You remember.
If you know, you know.
This is a podcast about music, and we're two guys that have been doing this conversation for 20 years, and we thought we would put it to the digital world. And here we are. Digital. You love that word. I
like the word. I don't like what it implies. So that's like a word, especially the way you spell it with the J, and it's just not right. It strikes me as weird. But yes, I got to tell you something, Mark.
Go ahead.
2 episodes ago, now because we're in arrears right now. We're kind of like a lot of shit could happen between now and then. We could like have I don't know, the passenger pigeon could come back, or there could be a gibbon could be seen at the Como Zoo Conservatory.
Those damn gibbons are everywhere, destroying our lives.
Yet nowhere at all. Anyhow, so yeah,
Sorry, just learning how to drink.
Welcome to the show. I forget what I was going to... This is a bad beginning. We're skipping an episode, so we're like 2 weeks ahead. We don't know what's happened in the world, is what I'm saying. There could be a UFO could have landed. We could be the last voice you hear. This would be bad.
Jim, we don't know what's going on in the world ever, so it doesn't matter.
That's a fair assessment.
We might know the weather. That's about it.
Weather is a climate, man. So, yeah.
Oh, I opened up a can of worms on that one, didn't I?
Well, I'm about to open up a can of
whoop ass.
Whoop music. Hey-o.
So I was making fun of Jim because he left his notes at the top of the stairs. And
It is funny. Oh, no. Here, what happens is So we're the ascertainers. We figured that out. Yeah.
We did. And
You're in the right place. You're in the right classroom, and you're probably going to be the smartest kid in it because Mark and I are in it as well, and we're the only ones. So you and 2 other people that are listening, welcome. Have a seat. Pour yourself something cool to drink. We'll wait. And we're back. So I hope you're in your kitchen or your mobile home or whatever it is that you're close to the sink and you were able to tap water yourself a little something to sip.
What if they're camping?
Because a camper, like a RV, like a small...
No, but what if they're like primitive camping?
Ooh.
There is no sink.
Why don't you set yourself down by the stream and
that's very good.
Set a spell and strain yourself out a nice... What are you doing? You have a cough button?
I have...
You better use it again there, Phlegmrod Johnson.
Yeah, I had a little frog in my throat.
You still have a tadpole in there. You can tell. I see what's happening here. So, we did... The 1977 came out today. The day we're recording this.
Do I need to turn yours off?
Well, I didn't know that was an option. Because hell yeah.
It's not for you.
Just do it when I swear. So that'll hardly be any. 77 came out. Next week is going to be the second episode that we did on the 77. And why don't you tease it? You said you're our editor, the keeper of the digital assets.
Quit saying that word. Would flow better having that one come after the phrasing. Last week's. It's just the way we flowed from one
episode. It's hard to avoid cum, don't you think? In sentences. I'm sorry. I that's a pausing.
And in sentences, yes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, the key. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so tonight's episode is episode we think 46, and the topic is 1973. And you might ask yourself, "Hey, man, how'd you guys get to 1973?" And I would say, "Hey, man, imagine the worst," because I go to Mark, "Hey, what should we talk about this weekend?" And he said
1973. I don't know why I picked that number.
I was super excited. I'm like, yes. And then I listened to 1973 music, and I'll be honest with you kids, if we're on long enough, we'll cover all the years. Anyway, and Mark said on the last one that he did the categories of like all the different in the top 40 about there would be country and there would be disco and
reggae,
rock and reggae and all these different. And then he said, "Why don't you pick the categories for the next one, and then we'll pick songs that fit into them." And I honestly tried for about longer than you'd think. And I said, "Well, Mark, I think we have easy listening."
I was going to look up the text.
Easier listening and easiest listening, because 1973 had some really, really downbeat shit, and but it also had some really, really good stuff. So it's not as, to me, appealing as 1977. And wait till we get to 78. It'll make 1977 look like 1973.
Wow.
I almost had a burp decked up right there.
But just the foreshadowing of what's to come with 19... I said that damn word again.
You were trying to force a burp and then it tastes like you ate potato salad earlier that day? I hate that too. I mean, hypothetically.
So I was walking down here to set up in Jim's basement where I'm chained to the wall.
Oh, that's how we got to this. Thanks for the full circle.
Yeah. And he had his notes for the episode at the top of the stairs. And I was making fun of him. And he goes, "Well, I always forget them." So I set them there. And then I came down here, set up, and I was looking for my notes. And they were back in my house.
Loser.
And Jim goes, "Okay." He asked his wife to drive me back over to my house. And his wife looks at me, "Why can't you just take a photo of the notes that you had and send it to your text?" Yeah, that would be smarter.
And Mark's like, "Well, because it's underneath my National Geographic. And I don't want her to know, what I think of the townspeople."
Wow, let's just go on.
Sorry, man. I don't do that. That's not my thing.
Because that's going to be mentioned later on.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I didn't start to start the episode. What's our relative? Wow. So I recognize that about 5 minutes earlier than on every other episode. So here we are together. Here we are together today. It's a fucking song, dude. It is 1973 week. We have a couple of things we normally do. We do have errors and omissions. We do have the radio game. And I have like 6 or 7 songs that I want to talk about from 1973.
But I think we should start off and mentioning Jeremy and Mindy.
Well, where we met at where?
Newt.
We, listeners of this podcast, might think that everyone that sits next to us is destined to just a beatdown of, hey, did you know we have a podcast? We have.
Which they are.
Well, we were there for a lot of beers tonight. We were there for. Did we have 5 or 4? 5. I think it was 5, which is usually we do 3. Oh, Mark. Anyway.
And you were doing the Mind Haze, which is a lot more alcohol content.
Well, I'm also, there's a lot more Jim content than Mark content. So even though my diet is going well, more on that later.
You look good.
Stop. Anyhow, so we had a couple sitting next to us from Omaha. Turns out, Jeremy and Mindy,
correct.
They were attempting the Newt's mound of nachos, and Chris and I, Madam X and I have attempted those like on 3 occasions, and we even told the staff there, don't let us order those again, because you literally you eat until your jaw hurts, and then you stop, and then you get to your car, and you're like, are you still hungry? Yeah, me too. It's just a lot of effort and it's like in the movie Role Models. Was it, do you like Coke? He goes, I think I like the idea of Coke more than I like Coke. It's Coca-Cola, not the drug. But yeah, anyhow. But they turned out, they're from Omaha. He is a musician. He plays, he's a guitarist and drummer. We talked a lot. He thinks that the 4th corner of the Prog deck of cards, the quadrant, you got Rush, you got Floyd. He hates Floyd. Also, I like this guy.
Got to be a friend of yours, Pat.
Yes. And then he didn't even think twice. He actually brought it up, and I'm like, before we even talked about anything, like even the podcast, we talked like some musically somehow, and he said Dream Theater. And I think that Dream Theater is that 4th band that pulls it together. But I also offered Tool, which I hadn't thought about previously. But
Tool is not covered in of the 4 corners, time-wise.
Okay.
And I don't think Dream
it has
Theater.
to do with time, though. It has to do with progressive rock.
Right,
like,
but I was talking about
progressive rock.
I was talking about the 4 corners of a certain era.
Oh.
So that's what, and when I said the Moody Blues, that's why I was saying that it all comes together. But if you start pulling in bands from the 90s, that kind of throws or skews.
You know what?
I was talking about.
Why didn't you say something in the bar?
I did, and you shot me down right away.
Well, I fucking hate the Moody Blues. That's probably why.
Well, you said
you're
that.
Probably right. And this guy was born in like 1977, so he probably thinks that's like a yogurt flavor or something. The Moody Blues? Is that a yo-yo from Duncan? Sorry. Oops.
It sounds like a psychological condition.
Say it again.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It must be the burger.
It's
the Beyond Burger.
You should try eating meat. It's delicious. And Mark gave me his 2 slices of bacon, and I gave one to my wife because I'm cool.
You are cool.
So my wife and I, who, by the way, is not super pumped that she was referenced in When to Do a Chuck Spin. Sorry. But you know what? It's saving lives, so she gets it. She knows it's part of the greater good. But she and I have a wedding coming up where we are the parents of the groom, and it is in like 90 days or so. You got February, March, and most of April. So we are on a healthy eating kick. But part of the healthy eating kick is that we know that on Friday night we can go to Newt's and go buck effing wild, and then just deal with the consequences on Saturday, get right back on the horse, as it were. And yeah, so anyway, God, I love Friday.
I thought that was going to be an apology in there somewhere. And
For which? The Moody Blues thing?
To your wife.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Thanks. Thanks, man. Yeah, well, anyway, I said because it's for science that she was cool with it.
Right, but you just kind of glossed over that. And then, anyway.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't really let me sleep in the house after that. But no, so I get Mark sends me the raw footage of the episode. Then I listen to it and do the little write-up thing. And sometimes she wants to hear it, and she's actually recommending. Oh, she actually turned like people to her work onto it, and they're gonna hear the Chuck Spin bit.
Oh,
oh shit! Everyone does it. Everyone has a little situation.
Next Christmas party, her co-workers are gonna come over and slap you as they.
They don't have a Christmas party because how dare you? Christmas.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Is that like Halloween
But I think
a winter party?
I think a Wiccan winter, leap year style. But I think that they will treat her like Elaine was treated after she danced at the work event she was at. You remember the Elaine dance?
I do.
Yes. So I love my wife very much. Her name is, I can't say anymore. Stewart. And anyway, no, she's a fun person, and it was borderline uncool to bring that up, but I thought it added to the story, and we didn't edit it, and we had a chance to. So if that's on anyone, it's on me. Sorry, hon. Maybe if you didn't do that when you're walking into the car, I wouldn't have to bring it up. Anyway. You do that way before you're in the car, and you do a spin. I'm just telling you, right now. We got radio game, we got airs and emissions, and we got bands to talk about, or music.
Which you want to do first?
I want to do airs and emissions. No, I want to do the radio game.
Okay.
In case there's a commercial. You want to go first? You want to go last? What do you want to do?
I want to do whatever I want to do.
Oh my God, Gravel Breath. What are you doing over there?
I don't know what's going on. I'll go for my legacy bands. I will do, because 1973 theme.
That's your thing.
Is
I know what you're doing. I know the first one you're doing.
Allman Brothers.
I know the second one you're doing.
Steely Dan.
I'm surprised. I thought Deep Purple was going to be in there.
No, because I did those like 2 episodes
on
ago.
Metal Week. Yes. Yes. Oh, you're so good that way. Mine have no apparent theme other than I'm going to go. I don't think they can hear that when I do that, though.
I think they can.
I'm going to go with
my eardrums are bleeding.
I'm going to test the limits, because even though 2 episodes ago you gave me Journey, I didn't take Journey, and then Journey was the band.
So you're going to go with Steve Perry.
No.
And go, I get Journey with
I'm going Paul Rogers.
Oh?
It gives me Free, it gives me Bad Company, and it gives me the Power Station. So, bitch. Anyway, then in Boston.
The Power Station, I thought that was...
I did it wrong. The Firm.
The Firm,
The
yeah.
Firm.
There you go.
Power Station was Palmer, Robert Palmer.
Right.
So I got Paul Rogers and All Associated Acts in Boston, and All Associated Seafood.
If you do Paul Rogers, you should only get maybe one big band. You can't go all of them.
He was in one big band. And then I get Free, which is a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
The Firm, which is never played. The Radioactive is never played. I don't think it's called The Radioactive, but it is a thing.
It's not Radioactive that I love. It's the other one. Satisfaction Guaranteed. That's a great tune by the Firm.
Okay. Who's one other member of the Firm? Who were the other members of the Firm? I can name all 4. And that sucks.
Jimmy Page.
It sucks that I can remember Paul Rogers, Jimmy Page,
Go ahead.
Chris Slade, and I want to say something Franklin is the bass player. I think I want to say Paul Franklin, but it's not. It's Paul Rogers. Tony Franklin.
Oh, I didn't know the last two.
Look it up, kids, because I am the king of having about 13 errors and omissions from 2 episodes ago that I have to admit to. So, what are your long shots? So, again, I go with Paul Rogers and All Associated, Act Bad Company Free, and whatever the fuck I feel like. And, then, and you went with Steely Dan, and who's the other one?
Allman Brothers.
Okay, who are your longies?
Would Edgar Winter Band be a long shot? Or would that be?
He's got 2 songs. He's got 1 song, I know of, Frankenstein.
He had 2 hits during 1973.
That's a long shot if he had 2 hits.
Frankenstein and then the other one, which is a better tune. Okay. Dr. John is the other one.
Dr. John, who did Playing on the Cover of the Rolling Stone?
No. Right Place, Wrong Time.
See, that epitomizes 1973. Songs that you will not seek out, but when you hear them, they're good.
Oh, Edgar Winter did Free Ride.
What was the other one?
Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a one.
But I mean, Free Ride was a great tune to me.
Take a free ride. Free ride.
Perfect.
All right, mine are Elvis Costello and Blondie. So when I listened before, 15 minutes ago, we started this bit. There was a commercial, so I think there's going to be a song on.
Or you had static. But it's working well now, I hope. He's giving me the finger, but I don't know what that means because he's always giving me the finger.
I Want to Rock. Twisted Sister.
Yes.
That's a thing?
I hate
on
that
KQ?
song.
Dee Snider should be on the commercial for Why America. Because Dee Snider can be a fucking millionaire.
Yes.
I'm trying not to swear very much on this fucking episode. I think it's going well, too.
Very well.
Yeah, how about that? I Want to Rock. I remember where I was first time I heard that song, though, because that was an MTV, groundbreaker.
Yes.
Okay, so we're done with that. We need to do a little bit of errors and omissions. Let's keep this thing moving.
A little bit of errors and omissions? You might be doing
I have
20 minutes.
I have 4. How many you got?
I got 3.
Okay.
But 2 of them are rolled into one.
I'll start. I'm going to do the grammar jail. We actually covered it during the episode, but I think that I have to sit out for at least a 4-minute major for the desert thing, because that's just poor work. And I apologize to all the ascertainer listeners that I influence grammatically, karatically.
I would like a apology for your podcast partner who you said, no, you're wrong.
Oh. Who
be nice.
Do you know? Well, when they show up, we'll do it. We got 2 extra mics here. If are you serious? Did I offend you that way?
No, but it was.
What was that? What word did I claim you were wrong about? It certainly wasn't.
Desert and dessert.
Oh God, yeah. Well,
you said, Mark,
you're
wrong.
You fucked that one up. Yeah, and I will say this: that I will give you that I apologized on that episode and this other one. So there's your.
No, you didn't apologize on that.
I sure did.
You said no.
Oh, I admitted to being wrong. I didn't apologize.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And then you apologized to all the listeners this time, and then I had to prompt you to actually apologize to your podcast partner.
Mark, I'll tell you right now, I let you buy me dinner tonight, and my wife, so I think that's great. I love going to dinner with Mark and our chauffeur, who we also like hanging out with, even though it's
and then lose $60 at pull tabs.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun. I think you lost $60. We lost anyway. It was one of those nights. 2 weeks ago, we won big.
Yeah, we are still way behind.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, that's good. It helps out the Apple Valley something or other.
Oh, before you go on and do your errors and omissions,
we didn't even talk about Newts.
Yeah, we did.
No, we talked about who we met there. We didn't talk about Newts. What'd you have to eat tonight at Newts?
Oh, I had the regular. It's like my Big Mac version. It's something that I love, so I get it every time. It's the Hefe.
What's on it? Talk to the people.
I don't know what's on it. It's a bacon, but I give that to you.
Right.
And
So
then it
what
has
else is
like
that?
a spicy.
Like a spicy mayo of some sort?
Yeah.
Or okay. And that's it?
I'm not a foodie, so yeah, I'm not.
You have a bun. You have the Beyond Meat puck.
Yes,
This
and
is
cheese and the sauce.
Oh, it does have cheese.
It does have
and
cheese.
a sauce. And you love it. You can't get enough of that.
Right. That's
Good.
my go-to one.
Well, that's what Newt's is good for the. You get it. You're a pedestrian, or you're a
Pescatarian.
Episcopalian,
I am.
a pescatarian. Mark doesn't eat like animal meat. He eats fish though.
Fish and dairy.
Fish and dairy. Who's this dairy guy?
I will milk the cow dry, but I won't.
Nope. Nope. Dry?
Is there...
Dry? Well, hey, let me get these lights here real quick. Moo moo, mother trucker.
Should I bring up meatloaf again?
You
or
are
no?
not going to do that. This is the other end of the bovine. So yes, I had big fan of the new special, which is the
Swiss truffle.
It's a Swiss truffle smash, I think is what they call it.
I think
but
so.
it's delish. But I longed. You don't want to see me long for much. I longed for
Or ever.
a previous special, which is the chicken bacon ranch sandwich, which is just, it's that good. Get a side of buffalo, get the fries, get a little dip in the buffalo, dip in the ketchup. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the servers, the staff. The ascertainers just can't get enough of Newt's, and they can't get enough of us.
Shout out to Corey,
Now
because he
that-
came over and talked to us again tonight. And
Corey chatted us up. We love
was
Corey.
nice.
Corey's the guy that's,
Yeah.
all the servers started it all, but Corey's the guy that put his money where his mouth is, and because of him, we enjoy an exclusive sponsorship. Even though it's less than six figures, we just like having the ability to say that we're a sponsored podcast, and that's cool.
It is.
It's 5 figures.
5 fingers?
It's four figures. Hold on, it was 5 figures if you count the pennies. The
Oh, I was
change.
thinking fingers.
Oh, don't do that.
5 fingers.
I don't.
Because
care for
that's what your doctor does.
that. My digital single digits, the best proctology office in the Twin Cities. Yes. Newt's is in Apple Valley. We encourage you to go. You'll meet fun people. If you go there on Friday night, sit at the bar and then mess with our minds by going, yeah, we hate podcasts. Why would we listen to a podcast, you tools? So anyhow, you see our pictures on Facebook. Stalk us. Do your worst. Anyhow, errors and omissions.
I was going to bring up before for
we started errors and omissions. I
We
did
did.
grammar jail, and you wanted your apology.
I was going to say, what's up with your feud with Waconia? You said you were bad-mouthing Waconia, and I thought maybe
No. You know what's funny? You should say. I know exactly what you're referring to, and I feel bad that I selected Waconia because 2 of the members of Fiji grew up in Waconia.
Well,
Did you know?
I did not.
And so there are people that live in a city that's it's like an hour away from a major city, and instead of having to say, "Oh, I live in Danforth,"
no.
where's that? Oh, it's like an hour from Indianapolis, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't care." So people just say then after years of that, they go, I'm from Indianapolis. And they get asked where, and then they go, well, technically. So it's easier to say Indianapolis and then make an exception than to always have to fucking,
Or just say, sorry, Waconia.
I'm sorry, Waconia?
Yeah.
Are you just fetching apologies tonight?
I am. Because I got more.
Waconia is a great place. I'd love to.
Nice save. Okay, now we got other feuds that are going on with Jim.
Oh
we
my
have the
God.
David Lee Roth feud. We got the Steve Miller. And then you brought up a Kenny Rogers feud last episode.
I don't have a Kenny Rogers feud. Kenny Rogers is one of the most underrated musicians of our time.
Oh, well, you on the podcast.
Because Kenny Rogers sang, I just checked in to see what condition your condition was in. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, good. I thought we were having another feud. I thought we were having another feud, but...
The first edition. No, absolutely not. Have you ever seen the video of Kenny Rogers in the first edition singing whatever the song, I think it's called, I don't think the song could be...
That was pretty good.
Actually called Just Stop. It's a long title, but it was in the Big Lebowski, and it's a banger.
No, I thought I saw Kenny Rogers with New Edition when they were singing together.
That would be cool, too.
No, I did see Kenny Rogers in concert.
When?
1980 in Colorado.
Is it all country, or did he do some
It
rockers?
was him, and who was the one he did the duets with?
Juice Newton? A
Was
chick?
Yeah. Was it Juice?
A female?
Yeah.
No, I feel like it was Dolly Parton.
It wasn't Dolly Parton.
You would have said I saw Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers.
Right. It was Kenny Rogers and someone. Well, I'll look that up.
We'll figure that out. Yeah, we don't want to waste your time. Oh, by the way, if you're listening to us, we're already wasting your time. But thanks for listening anyway.
I interrupted you.
Have you done your taxes? No, not you. The guy out there listening to us. Also, to the guy out there listening to us, hi, I'm Jim, Mark's sidekick on the Ascertainers, and I'm glad you listened. I made a vow today, actually I made a vow every day this week to stay positive, and I held that vow for exactly today. Because all week I was just a dick to people. And I had intentions of going in and just going, you know what? The one thing I can control out of the chaos in this world, and my chaos, by the way, is like a goddamn fantasy to people in the parts of the world where there are problems. But my little problems, I'm like, you know what I can control is my attitude, and I don't have to get bent about shit. Well, I got fucking bent up like a...
You have been very upbeat tonight.
Well, I'm trying.
No.
It's an effort, but...
I don't even think it took effort. You were doing... You were very happy.
For you, the guy out there, or gal, the one thing that you can control is your attitude. So I want you to listen to the Ascertainers, have a couple of laughs, and when you get done listening to... Oh, they're already done? Oh, fuck. Anyway, they've already turned it off. But for those that stayed on, just say, you know what? We are lucky to be where we are right now. There are billions of people that fucking wish they were where you are right now. And to just say, you know what? It can get better. It will get better. It's always going to either get better or worse. No matter what you're doing, it never stays the same. So when it gets better, go like, oh, okay, well, fuck, appreciate it. When it gets worse, go, hey, makes me appreciate when it was better. There, end of sermon. I could go on for like an hour on this kind of stuff, but I'm just going to leave it that way, saying thanks. You're here for a reason, and listen to the rest, because we think that you'll fucking benefit from a holistic standpoint and from a hopefully a comedic and musical standpoint. And with that, I'll turn it back to Mark.
Going on with that, or adding to it, I should say, when I was in Colorado going to school, I ended up at a bar before a football game. It was early morning. It was one of my favorite bars. And
were those morning games?
Yeah. Well, it was, I should say 10 o'clock in the morning because the game started at
5
noon. So I was doing a little pregame. And there was older gentlemen there. And they introduced me to red beer.
Never had?
Not till then.
That's a Nebraska specialty. That's a half Bloody Mary mix or tomato juice and half beer?
Yeah. Well, it was mostly beer and a touch of tomato juice. Yeah. And it was very good.
It's good for hangovers.
And it's good not to get a hangover because you're getting nutrients and everything while you're drinking if you continue to drink those. But anyways, sitting there, and the old guy, we were talking, and he goes, I said, I was in college and I had a lot of stress. And he goes, you get older, it gets better. Really? He said, yeah, gets a lot better. You think you're having fun now, it gets better as you get older. And I think that is very true.
I guess I do too.
Yeah.
Who was that masked man?
I have no idea. But we would get together.
Richard Nixon.
I am not a crook.
No, there's a lot of, you know what? I think it's good to know old people. And I consider myself one. I consider you one. I also consider myself one. No, because they've seen more stuff than you. And honestly, you got to look at some of them and go, well, if this fucking guy can get through this, I can too. And you can. You will. Damn it.
You will.
Also, the writers or creators of the theme music for the Ascertainers, which you heard earlier today, put out an 8-track, I don't know if they're calling it an album or a EP or whatever it is, but I will say right now, if you go to Fiji, it's Feegee, they're on Spotify, they're on Bandcamp, they're on Instagram, it's the Fiji Band, Feegee Band. Yeah, I would say that out of 8 songs, I would hang my hat heavily on, for sure, 4, then sort of 6, and there's a couple that I'm not, gushing over. But it's fun. Like you say, they're like people that have been in the scene for a while. They're like pushing 30, all of them, or 30. And it's like they're not trying very hard, but it's still pretty good, some pretty good stuff.
Right, and that's what I brought up to Jim. I said, that's not my style of music.
It's not your bailiwick, your milieu.
But these guys have a great time together. They're just enjoying playing music. And you can tell, especially live, that they're just having fun. And it shows in the music. It makes the music better to me. So,
well, there you go.
That's my...
So check out Fiji if you feel like it. If you hate our podcast, you might like them, or vice versa. Either way, I think I just made you do it. So, Arizona Missions, Mark, we're running out of podcast.
You're right.
I'm going to do... okay. Did that. We've actually done a bunch as we've gone. Second Helping is by Leonard Skinner, and I feel terrible as a music podcast.
Wow, yeah, I
feel terrible as a music podcast that we even waffled on that. That's
me too.
That's bullshit. We did. We talked about this. Did we talk about this in the intro? Because if we did, you can edit it out. But Rush's 1977 talked about Closer to the Heart.
We did in the beginning.
Oh, we're going to edit that part out?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, their top charting song was actually New World Man from the Signals album, which is it's all right, but it's not even close to their best musical effort. But if it was a commercial effort, whatever.
That's fine. Exactly what it was. It was a big commercial.
And then I will close with, because we've kind of caught all these. Oh, Ziggy Stardust that was my Bowie song that I couldn't think of. Ziggy playing guitar. Anyhow. And then lastly, I'm going to give I think I told you my favorite Viking sports quote was Leroy Horde with, if you need 1 yard, I'll give you a yard. If you need 5 yards, I'll give you a yard. I'm going to top that with the Love Boat man himself, Fred Smoot. When he said, Fred Smoot was the defensive back, so he covered wide receivers, made sure they didn't catch shit. And he said, 2/3 of the earth is covered with water, and the rest is covered by Fred Smoot. That's just gold. That's a funny fucking saying right there, kids.
That is.
So, okay.
Elvis was 1977. His
is
death.
This your Arizona Missions?
Yeah. Don't get to talk the whole time.
My head is just...
Then we were talking about Rod Stewart, and you came up with lyrics that were a little risque. I think they were You were taking him out of context for him, what you were talking about, but
Stay away from my back door too.
yeah.
That's a quote.
Right, but I don't think he meant that. He said, stay away from my window. What does a window represent?
To what I'll do anything for love. If you're not taking that out of context. I was talking to Rod Stewart earlier this week. Is he still alive? And he said that he was specifically singing that to you and
Wow.
Meatloaf. Stay
I didn't
away.
Okay, but during that whole thing, we were talking about Rod Stewart doing a lot of ballads.
Mhm.
And I said, he did a lot of rock stuff. And I said small faces, but I meant faces.
Right, and that's a very easily confused. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, that was my fault.
What was small? Was that Every Picture Tells a Story? Was that Faces or Small Faces?
No, that wasn't. That was a Rod Stewart single.
So Faces was Rod Stewart.
Yes, after Small Faces started, then Ronnie Wood and a couple guys quit. Ronnie Wood and Rod Stewart joined, and they wanted to keep it going, so they called it Faces.
Okay, so there is continuity, though. It's not like it's totally separate people.
No, Faces went from Small Faces went to Faces.
But
And
Ron Wood was the constant.
No, Ron Wood's
Rod Stewart was the constant. Was
No.
Rod Stewart in both?
no. It was
What the
Small
fuck?
Faces. I can't remember. I think it was the drummer that went on to drum for The Who.
Keith Moon?
No. Well, after Keith Moon died, drummer from Faces, Small Faces went on to drum with. That's who The Who picked up as their drummer.
Okay. It's good to know. It has nothing to do with Rod Stewart, but that's cool.
Well, you were talking. I thought you were talking about the
No,
bridge
I
between Small Faces
I
and
want to
Faces.
know what the Small Faces hit was and what the Faces hit was. And then there's the Stories, which I thought was Rod Stewart. Brother Louie, which was put out in 1973, by the way, which is our
It was,
topic this
yeah.
week.
I don't think.
Does that not sound like Rod Stewart?
It does, but it's not Rod Stewart.
I know. It's
Now you're confusing me.
okay. What do you want to do?
Okay.
What do you want to do about it? You want to fight?
You want to fight about it? Isn't that from a Family Guy?
Something like that. It sounded funny. Quit posturing up on me.
Well, thank you. We're going to have to wrap this one up because we never did get to our topic of the day, 1973 music.
Go figure.
So we're going to wrap this one up, and we'll probably do another one because we're significantly hammered. If I can't even say that word, significantly hammered, that we can do another one. So we'll
Stick around to see if we can.
exactly.
And since we didn't talk about the topic, we don't have to tell people there's a topic. So we'll just do 1973 next week, and we'll see you there.
Good night.
Bye-bye.